Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Rocha, Kodash, Ma'amath. I want to give a double honors to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders, as well as their bishops. I want to give a double honors to my elder apostle, Aharawan Ban Yasharala of the Lions Den camp here, and a double honors to my bishop, Kanaksan Ban Yasharala of the Lions Den camp as well. Shalom to the sincere Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm Nakar Kharab Ban Yasharala, coming out of the Lions Den camp of Yasharala here in Florida. And today I'll be coming out a lesson on this article. But the title of this lesson is All Shall See the Judgment of the Great Whore, which we know what the Great Whore is. We know who the Great Whore is, Salakia. But without further ado, let's get right to it. It says Iran-linked media has published an AI-generated video depicting the Statue of Liberty being destroyed in a simulated vengeance strike against the U.S. And this is really going to happen. That's what the Lord going to destroy Babylon America with. Nuclear destruction, nuclear obliteration and annihilation and devastation. This is the 53-second clip titled One Vengeance for All. You know, like Babylon like to say justice for all or liberty or whatever that is. I don't forgot that stupid play. They used to make us say it all the time in school, but I forgot that crap. But let's continue. The 53-second clip titled One Vengeance for All was released by Iranian news outlet Fars News Agency, which is tied to the country's broadcasting network. It says the video unfolds as a montage of historical and modern conflict imagery framed to portray American and Western actions as sources of global suffering. Woe to thee that destroys the whole earth, which I got that, but let's continue. It opens with scenes referencing violence against Native American populations before shifting to the aftermath of the atomic bomb of Hiroshima during World War II. That's another scripture. The same thing that Babylon America initiated is going to be the same thing that Babylon America get destroyed with. That's the trap that the Lord has set. Let's continue. It says scenes resembling the Vietnam War follow alongside footage referencing recent conflicts in Gaza, Yemen, and an Iranian school reportedly struck by American missile earlier this year. This is the montage also references the scandal of Epstein Island. Just another scripture. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and get them. Let's just go ahead and go to them. Let's just go ahead and go to a couple of them. Where we at? This Haggai? Obadiah, Micah. No, let's go ahead. Let's. Okay, what this is Nahum, chapter 3, verse 5. It says, "Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. And I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the naked, the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame." So the Lord is against this devil. He's against his power structure, the whole thing. And the Lord is discovering the skirts upon this devil's face, meaning the Lord is exposing this devil and showing the nations the nakedness and the shame of Babylon. And in turn, it is in that the Lord is casting abominable filth upon this devil's glory and making him vile and a gazing stock, making him look bad. Let's continue. Again, the montage also references the scandal of Epstein Island before turning to images of Iranian military figures and senior leadership killed in U.S. operations, reinforcing the themes of retaliation. It says the final sequence centers on the New York Harbor, where the Statue of Liberty is altered to feature a horned demonic face in a place of its traditional crown. Well, that's the truth. Let's just continue. These nations are already, they know it already. They see it. This is Moments later, the statue is struck by a simulated missile, breaking apart in a series of fiery explosions as debris falls into the surrounding water. Yeah. I guess this is what they're talking about right here. This is the first part of it right there, and then what I don't know what that is, and then right here. So let's continue. It says the Iran-U.S. war, they missing one. Little Satan war has entered its fourth week, with the Pentagon chiefs ordering around 2,000 paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne Division to the east last night to join. Some 4,500 Marines already en route to the region. And it says President Trump is prepared to pull the trigger on a full-scale invasion if Tehran continues to rebuff his diplomatic overtures. Members of his inner circle revealed on Wednesday they're gonna lose, but that stank is gonna rise up. They're gonna go over there. They sending all them people over there, and them people ain't coming back, man. Let's continue. It says Trump aide, Salakia, warned Iran that the president is pursuing negotiations while remaining prepared to escalate militarily if necessary. How you gonna escalate? You've already escalated. You've already initiated. They just sitting back waiting for you to run into a trap. It's very rare that something runs into a trap and escapes. Let's continue. It says a proposed, and then another thing. They done already said they're not open for negotiations. They ain't trying to hear it. Let's continue. A proposed 15-point deal would require Iran to dismantle its they keep talking about this nuclear program crap. Why? Because this devil know he finna catch it. That's what it is. But let's continue. It says, however, Tehran has rejected the plan instead and demanded U.S. base closures, reparations, and greater control over the Strait of Hormuz. They got power over the Strait of Hormuz right now. They done closed everything down, and it's like if you are an ally or you part of a hostile nation or anything coming today, you can't get no business, no commerce, or nothing done through there. They're gonna attack you. Basically, that's what they're saying. Let's continue. It says the developments came just one day after the propaganda video was quietly released online. Oh, that's not a propaganda video. That's an omen. That is the future of Babylon. Let's continue. It says the clip features several AI-generated humans shown staring at the sky as if watching the missile heading toward New York. So overhead, what that is? That's Revelation chapter 18. Matter of fact, I'm right here, but I'm bringing that after. You know what? I'm going to do it right now. This is Revelation chapter 18. And I'm going to start at verse 2. It says, he cried with a mighty, strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean, hateful bird. That's talking about all kind of manner of wickedness here, all kind of idol worship, because in the utter destruction, once the Lord really destroy Babylon, America, ain't no spirits gonna be over here. It's gonna be a place for animals, creepy crawly things, swamp animals, cormorants and screech owls, and any other animals that the Lord is gonna allow to come over here once the smoke die down. Verse 3, it says, for all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and her merchants, and the merchants, Salakia, of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. So all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of this place. All nations have been complicit at some point with the way Babylon, America does things. They've committed fornication. They've committed acts with this place. They've done business, signed treaties, policies, all of that, commerce, everything. That's what it means by all the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. They've done business. They've been in league with this place. But let's continue. I'm going to jump down to verse 5. It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquity. So the sins of Babylon America have reached unto the heavens, this great whore that sits upon many waters. It has reached unto the heaven. And guess what? And it says the Heavenly Father Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities. Meaning the Lord has always kept, we'll say, a file on the wickedness of Babylon America. And the Lord has remembered, meaning he never ever forgot it. Let's continue. Verse 6, it says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. So this place is going to receive. And here it says this, it says double. That's one time. Then it says unto her double. That's two times. Double means two. So that two, I ain't no numerology or nothing like that. But double is two. Then he said double again. That's two again. According to her works, which she has filled to her double. That's another double. So the Lord did, man. Babylon America finna get way worse than it is done in the earth. The Lord's going to bring his wrath upon this place. It's fill unto it double into the cup. So the Lord is finna totally and utterly get rid of this place. And the world is going to see it. Let's keep reading. Verse 7, it says, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. So this place has glorified itself and lived deliciously off the back of others, taking resources, causing problems around the four corners of the earth, taking everything that people need to live, causing problems, collapsing economies, freezing or arresting developments in upcoming countries, causing all kind of problem, living deliciously. So much torment is going to come to this place. The Lord going to give a lot of torment to this whore, because in her heart, in this place's heart, in those who run this place have thought to themselves, Esau in particular, think that ain't nothing or can't anything come against this place. That's why it says, I sit as a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. Meaning they think that the things that have been happening around the four corners of the earth, or the things that they've been causing around the four corners of the earth, is not going to happen and be caused here. Now that is far from the truth. You can't sow it and not reap it. You ain't finna sow wickedness, wrath, and destruction and then reap joy, peace, and benefits. It don't work that way. Let's continue. Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh's power, who judgeth her. So the plagues of this place, famine, death, mourning, collapse, chaos, pandemonium, all that's going to come, like this, the Lord says, come in one day. I mean, it's going to all come at one time. It's going to hit at one time. And this place is going to be what? Utterly burnt with fire, which is going to come from what? These ICBMs with nuclear warheads. The Lord is finna get ready to judge this place. And it says, for strong is the Lord Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, God who judgeth her. So the Lord finna get rid of Babylon America. Whatever. I'm not sugarcoating no more. F the keywords, F the algorithm, bump all that. Straight truth. Verse 9. It says, the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. So the kings of the earth who have committed fornication with this place, the kings of the earth who has done business, become rich, has gained much from Babylon America, and live deliciously, they're going to be well. These other nations are going to cry out as well. For one, they ain't going to be able to do business. For two, they think it's going to come to them. The destruction and the judgment that the Lord is going to bring upon this place. They're going to lament and cry out. And it says, when they shall see the smoke of her burning, verse 10, standing afar off. What that is? Standing afar off for the care of her torment. Or for the farce. I don't know what the, let me, hold on. Whatever. It's got an F in front of it. I don't know. That says care. So I'm going to say, standing afar off for the care of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour thy judgment is come. So they're going to be standing afar off watching this. And what it says here, they're going to be watching the destruction and the judgment of this place. And it's going to come in 1 hour. Took Esau hundreds of years, decades to build this up. The Lord going to wipe it out in 60 minutes. Now let's go back to this article. This part right here. The clip features several AI-generated humans staring at the sky as if watching the missile heading toward New York, soaring overhead, headed toward New York. It said it begins with the Native American man standing alone on the hilltop overlooking camps of teepees below. Moments later, the imagery shifts to a devastated city meant to resemble Hiroshima in the aftermath of the atomic bomb in 1945, World War II. A child standing among the rubble with what appears to be a dead infant strapped to his back. This right here, Hiroshima, Japan. It says the sequence moves into scenes of the Vietnam War, where women in a field looks up to a smoke-filled sky. A scene referencing conflicts in Gaza, featuring a young girl standing in front of shattered buildings and concrete rubble. She is looking directly into the sky as the missile streaks overhead and smoke rises in the distance, with the shot lingering longer than many others in the segments, of course. It says, in Yemen, a man stares above while surrounded by bombed buildings pouring with smoke. It says, the segment likely highlights the U.S. military actions in Yemen, including the drone strikes and special operations against Al-Qaeda from roughly 2002 to the present, with intense activity after 2009. In a brief insert, the montage flashes imagery referencing Jeffrey Epstein's private island, showing a young girl standing in a shadowy setting, representing the horrors that took place there. So these nations know, and this is another picture of the woman in Vietnam. This is the other picture that they were talking about. It says next, a scene showing the Shah Tayyib Elementary School, I messed that up, after a missile strike on February 28th during the first day of Operation Epic Fury. A preliminary military investigation determined that the U.S. was responsible for the attack, or for the missile strike, on an Iranian elementary school that killed 175 children. They want to say people, children. Most of them children. Okay, so it was some adults there because it's a school, so they was teaching. All right, whatever. It says Trump previously blamed the Iranian regime for bombing a school. Yeah, see, passing the blame. That's what this devil do. He tries to pass the blame. You know, he taught our women how to do that. That's why they don't take accountability when they wrong. Let's continue. It says the AI-generated images of Iranian figures Qasem Soleimani and Ayatollah Khamenei are displayed, bringing the missile headed to U.S. soil into frame. It says the scene cuts to the Iranian ballistic missile. The warhead narrows in on the Liberty Island in New York Harbor. It says, however, the Statue of Liberty has been altered to feature a horned demonic face of Baphomet, often depicted as the goat-headed figure with a human body, which is frequently associated with the Church of Satan. or represented by the Church of Satan. You know what I'm saying? And other occult and pagan traditions. So there you go. There's another. And the little girl looked like she's smiling. But I know this is AI, but let's continue. There go another little girl. But there it is right there. And it says, instead of holding the tablet inscribed with July, what that is, 6, whatever that is, or July 4th, 1776, representing the U.S. Declaration of Independence, the AI image holds the Babylonian Talmud in its arms. The Babylonian Talmud is a centuries old Salaki collection of Jewish religious teachings and laws that remains one of the most important texts in Judaism today. It says the simulated attack begins with a violent strike to the statue's torso, where a massive fireball erupts and a shockwave ripples outward across the harbor. A second impact tears through the raised torch arm, which snaps off and plunges into the water below. Additional strikes follow in rapid succession, breaking apart the statue's body. As large sections appear to fracture and collapse, debris rains down in fiery bursts, while thick black smoke rises into the sky, and flames spread across the base of the monument. You got to think, when the Lord judged Babylon, he's going to also judge these idols. The Statue of Liberty is an idol. Let's continue. It says, as the barrage continues, the structure appears to buckle under repeated impacts, cracking and partially collapsing into the surrounding water. The damaged statue, still depicted with the altered horned head, is left leaning and broken against New York skyline, with the smoke and flames continuing to rise from the wreckage. In the final moments, viewers noted the appearance of a book identified as a copy of the Babylonian Talmud sinking below the Hudson River. And this is all an omen. This is what the Lord is going to do. Now let's get some more scriptures. Let's start out with Isaiah. Not Proverbs, Isaiah. Come on now. Here we go. Isaiah chapter 33. It says, woe to thee that spoilest and thou wast not spoiled. So woe, we know what woe means. Judgment and destruction. Real quick. Woe to thee that spoilest and thou wast not spoiled. So this devil is Babylon, America. It is what it is. Has spoiled other nations, and no other nations came and spoiled Babylon, America. And it says, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt treacherously not with thee. So these other nations that were allied with America, America dealt treacherously with a lot of nations, and these other nations didn't deal treacherously with Babylon, America. It says, when thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. So at some point, Babylon, America is going to cease to stop doing what they're doing. That's when these other nations are going to do the exact same thing that Babylon, America has been doing to these other nations around the four corners of the earth. Let's continue. Let's go to Jeremiah 51. Verse 25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord Yahweh, which destroyest all the earth. And I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. So the Lord is against this devil. He's against this destroying mountain, Babylon, America. Because this place has destroyed the whole earth. Ruined everything. You want to know how bad it is gotten? I seen a video. Some women way in Nigeria was acting like the BW over here in Babylon, America. Fighting all out there in the street in front of everybody. Talking about everything hanging out. What they do over here when these Judite women Start fighting. They don't care where they at. They just go to fight and tan clothes off. That's what they were doing over there. I've seen other videos where they was doing the exact same thing in other countries. So this place has destroyed the whole earth. So the Lord has stretched out his hand upon this place, and he's going to roll this place down from the rocks, meaning take away its power and make it a burnt, destroyed mountain. Let's continue. Let's go back a chapter. Let's go to Jeremiah 50, verse 31. It says, behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord Yahweh, God of hosts. For the day is come, the time that I will visit thee. So that time is coming, and that time that the Lord is talking about is the day of judgment. And again, the Lord said he's against thee, O thou most proud. Who is the most proud? Esau. So he's against Esau. He's against Babylon, America. It is what it is. He's not with Babylon. He's not with Edom, period. But he gonna use Edom, Russia, to go ahead and run up on this place and lay this place down. The Lord is going to visit this place. And how he's going to visit this place? In his wrath and in his judgment. But also, he's going to visit this place and come get his people. Those who turned back to him while there was yet time. 2/3 going to get left here. And he's going to leave them here and melt them. But they'll be back. Let's continue. Verse 32. This is, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him. So the most proud is going to stumble and fall. So the Lord is going to take this devil down, make him weak. Well, actually take away the power that the Lord gave this devil. And this devil going to realize that he's always been weak. And when he fall, none is going to raise him up. Meaning these other nations ain't going to help. They ain't going to be like, oh, well, let's help build them back up. No. And the Lord's going to kindle a fire in his cities. I mean, it's going to be all kind of hell breaking loose, an actual fire. And it's going to devour round about this devil. I mean, this devil ain't going to have nowhere to go. Let's continue. Let's jump down to verse 35. It says, a sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord Yahweh, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes and her wise men. So the Heavenly Father's judgment is upon this place. It's upon the president. It's upon the Congress. It's upon the mayors. It's upon whoever in power. That's Edomites. The Lord is upon them. It's upon her princes and upon her wise men, think tanks, all that. The Lord finna get it up out of here. He finna get rid of wickedness. Verse 36. A sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. So a sword is upon everything. The judgment of the Lord is coming upon everything this devil has set up and created. His army, his what it says here, the liars. The sword is upon the mighty men, everybody. And they're going to be dismayed, scared, afraid. Verse 37, a sword is upon their horses and upon their chariots and upon all the people mingled. So like, let me read that again. Upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. So the Lord's judgment is coming upon this whole place. Their weapons, their horses, everything this devil has built up, his weapon defenses, even the other nations of people that's here that probably won't leave, they gonna catch it too. And it says, and they're gonna become as women. And you know, once all hell break loose, a woman, she loses her mind. She can't think clearly, nothing. She run from one danger into some other danger when it's that crazy. That's how it's gonna be. And it says, and the sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. Meaning they finna take from this place. These other nations finna take everything from this place through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua. Let's continue. Let's jump down to verse 40. No, verse 38. Let's keep going. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up. For it is the land of the graven images. You remember they shot that in that AI thing. They shot that Statue of Liberty down. The Statue of Liberty is a graven image. And it says, a drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up. For it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. So people here are mad upon their idols. This is the land of graven images. This is the droughts upon our waters, and they should be dried up. You could take that and go on into food and water, amenities, and things that people need. And again, people are mad upon their idols. They go crazy with these idols. A lot of people here idolize themselves. They idolize shoes. They idolize clothes. They idolize cars. They idolize famous people. Let's continue. Verse 39. Therefore, the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the islands shall dwell there, and the owls shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. So once the Lord judges this place, gets rid of Babylon, America, the only thing that's going to be here after the smoke settles is going to be wild beasts and animals. Owls, cormorants, creepy crawlies, salamanders, whatever animal that you can think of that lives in a specific type of environment, swamp environment, hot climate, the animals, they're gonna be here. All of them gonna be here. And this place is not gonna be dwelt in from generation to generation, meaning forever. No more human life gonna be over here in Babylon, America, once the Lord bring this judgment to it. Ain't no rising from the ashes like a phoenix, because a phoenix is not a real animal. The Lord didn't create a phoenix. He created an eagle. He created a falcon. He created an albatross. He didn't create a phoenix, though. Let's continue. Verse 40. As Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord Yahweh, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell there. So just like the Lord burnt up Sodom and Gomorrah way back in the day, and don't nobody live over there now, the same thing will happen to Babylon, America. Let's continue. Let's go to Amos. Let's go to Amos. I know I read it. I'm going to read it again. And I'm past it. Let's go right on to it. Amos, again, 9 and 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord Yahweh. So again, the Lord has been watching this place. Its sins has reached into the heavens. This is the sinful kingdom that the Heavenly Father has his eye on, and that he's going to destroy from off the face of the earth. But of course, he ain't going to make a total end to his people, even though a lot of our people are here. 2/3, they gone. They're gonna go with America when the Lord bring that judgment. But that remnant that he saved unto himself, that's who Yahweh Shai, our Lord, gonna come and save. So that it won't be a total end to the people of Yasha Allah. Let's continue. Now let's go back. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if I was there before, but let's go back again. Let's go. My last point. Let's go to Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14. You know what? 14 and let's see. I'm gonna start at verse 21. It says, "Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers." So even Esau's progeny is gonna get judged for his iniquities, for his sins. That they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. Once the Lord take down Babylon, America, ain't gonna be no more Edomite power structures. Ain't gonna be none of that. They're gonna be gone. All of them. Everybody. They ain't building no more cities. They ain't gonna be on the face of the earth no more. The Lord gonna get them up out of here. Let's continue. Verse 22. For lo, I will rise up against them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith the Lord Yahweh. So when the Lord come through and he busts America up, and it is what it is. When he come through and judge this place, he gonna cut off all from Babylon. He cutting Babylon America off. Name, remnant, son, nephew. Ain't gonna be no monuments, no remembrance of this devil once the Lord come through and bring judgment. He cutting off everything. It's gonna be the Lord. When the Lord come through, you gonna have to think about what an Edomite is. Let's continue. He cutting everything off. He cutting off the name of Esau. He cutting off the remnant. He cutting off sons, nephews, grandsons, cousins, uncles, granddaddies. He getting them up out of here. Verse 23. I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. So the Lord is going to make this place a possession for the bittern. That's a wild animals. He says, and pools of water. This place is going to be a swamp after all this stuff die down. It ain't going to be nothing here but wild animals. And the Lord said He's going to sweep this place with the besom of destruction. What's going to cause that besom of destruction? The missiles. That's what's going to cause it. Verse 24. The Lord Yahweh of hosts hath sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass. And as I have purposed, so shall it stand. So it's going to happen. The Lord has thought it. He has sworn it. And He said it's going to happen. It's going to come to pass because He put it into play. And this is the purpose that He has purposed. And it's going to stand. It ain't going to be nothing that's going to upset it or cause a problem. Let's continue. Let's jump down to verse 26. This is the purpose that is purposed upon the whole earth. And this is the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations. So this is the purpose that the Lord has purposed on the whole earth. So everybody going to see it. And everybody on the earth going to feel the judgment around the four corners of the earth. They ain't going to catch these other nations probably ain't going to catch these nukes. Except for big Satan and little Satan. Them the only two places that's for sure going to catch the ICBMs. But see, one place going to get built back up. Israel going to get built back up. Babylon, America, not. It's destroyed. It's gone forever. And this is the purpose that the Lord has purposed upon the whole earth. His hand is the hand that's stretched out upon all the nations. In judgment. In punishment. 27, last point. For the Lord Yahweh of hosts hath purposed it, and who shall disannul it? So the Lord has purposed it, so who gonna stop it? That's a question. Who gonna disannul it? And His hand is stretched out, and who shall turn it back? And that's a question. Who gonna stop the Lord from bringing this judgment to His earth that He owns, that belongs to Him? Nothing or nobody is gonna stop the judgment of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai from making Babylon America go goodbye. And with that, Shalom.